Hi everyone, my name is Patrick Akil, and for today's episode, we cover hackathons, startups, as well as data science. And for today's guest, I had Krish Naik on, who's a co-founder of iNeuron.ai, as well as a YouTuber. I'll put all the links to his socials in the description below, and with that being said, enjoy the episode.
Beyond coding.
I saw you guys with iNeuron also organized like a big hackathon thing.
Yes,
How'd
yes.
that go?
So that was quite amazing.
Yeah,
We have a very big office this side over here, so we can accommodate around 500 to 600 people at a time.
nice.
So everybody, we usually keep it as a 24 hours hackathon.
Yeah,
So all the people are over here itself, they'll sleep over here, eat, drink, do
that's
whatever they
awesome.
want. And that actually gives an amazing experience for all the people out there, just developing a product within 24 hours.
Yeah. What product won in the end, or is it still ongoing?
No, as soon as the 24 hours gets over, we take up the submission and we give the rewards then and there.
Yeah,
We make sure that we tell them to make an AI application. There are multiple problem statements that we usually give.
yeah,
Um, and like many companies also do a tie-up with us, who specifically want to develop some products within 24 hours or just a start of a product.
yeah.
And through that way, they finally see the product and yeah, they're also quite happy, by just seeing, okay, the developer community is quite strong. That and obviously because of COVID and all, we could not do this before,
Yeah,
but now we are really having a lot of fun.
yeah, that makes sense, man. 500, 600 people in a huge hackathon, kind of because there was also a competition, right? There were prizes involved and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like it's a good amount of price, So if
Yeah,
I probably talk about somewhere around $5,000 for the first rank, for the first winner,
yeah,
Then we have a lot of goodies distribution. So overall, we distribute somewhere around $10,000 USD dollars
yeah,
to all of them. Apart from that, we also give some companies, last time we had the hackathon in collaboration with JetBrains.
yeah.
So JetBrains gave them developer license, with respect to the tools that they use and all.
Really cool. Yeah, I think it is so important, right? I mean, we have software engineers, data engineers, and data scientists in a lot of companies, right? If your company is not digital, you're already behind in most fields or most domains that are out there that are consumer based, right?
Hmm.
And having that
Hmm.
time, that freedom to experiment and just play around with new technologies or be innovative in kind of a hackathon, um, I think is so important when it comes to, first of all, your engineering culture within your company, and just happiness within the team that they have the freedom to do stuff like that.
So like you get a chance to interact with all of them, right?
Yeah,
Everybody has a separate kind of questions regarding their career, regarding many things as such. And obviously, that kind of postings that they'll be doing in this digital era, right? In Instagram, LinkedIn, and all, right?
yeah,
In short, we are actually building a community, developer community, and building a developer community is so important, in this open source world where many things are available for free completely, right? They're
yeah,
giving you as an open source altogether to use all the products itself, which is
yeah,
super important. Because of that, we are able to learn so much and we are able to do so many things. Like data science is altogether, like all the libraries that are available currently, it is open source. Just imagine anybody can use it
yeah.
and develop some amazing products, right? So that is the reason why we keep this kind of hackathons to promote open source activities a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I completely stand behind that, right? You wouldn't want to reinvent the wheel over and over and over, right? Once you have this kind of piece of information or piece of software and it's available
Mhm.
for everyone, then everyone gets better because of that. I think that has allowed kind of the tech space to evolve exponentially, or I mean, I don't know what's even faster than exponentially. But that is what it feels like, right? When someone has something that's really cool, goes into the community, I hear it from my colleagues, I hear it from my friends, I see it on Twitter or somewhere else. And people talk
Mhm.
about it, people experiment with it, people see, okay, what is the maturity level? What still is lacking? What would we want to add and have that dialogue with the people creating it? It feels so cool that everything is transparent and open in that way because you feel involved and not just informed, right? You want to be involved in that way.
True. And the best thing is that you get to meet a lot of people, let it be virtually or, off in an offline way.
Yeah.
A person who's there in US definitely knows about me because I'm teaching data science. I'm today having a conversation with you through this way, right? So
Yeah.
this is quite amazing. We get to connect with a lot of people. We get to share knowledge with each and with each other. You know, definitely that actually leads to an amazing initiative for community building altogether.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely agree. It makes the world feel so much smaller because there's still a huge world. I mean, we talked about traveling kind of in the pre-show. I haven't been to all of the countries, nor do I think I will ever. But I do get to talk to a lot of people from countries I've never been to, um,
Sure.
which is awesome, right? That world that is huge out there, all of a sudden gets a lot smaller by just meeting people. And humans
Yes.
are very much social animals, right? Without social interaction, we're going to get depressed. We saw it in COVID with isolations and lockdowns, and a lot of depression happened there. So now it's kind of opening up and it's allowing for us to be social again and have that interaction. I really miss
True.
that.
So sorry.
No worries.
So in this thing, and this thing is that like you know, and trust me, like we were planning this events to happen from a longer time.
Yeah.
Just before COVID, also we had planned it, but we could not do it because we did not had a huge office at that point of time.
Mm.
We thought of doing it somewhere else, like this kind of hackathons and all. But again, it was costing us too much of money, because in this kind of events, you really need to spend things for food, for accommodations, for different things.
Yeah.
And now when we, I don't know, like should I say this like this, but definitely this is giving us an opportunity to really interact with so many people,
Yeah.
because JetBrains, they said that okay, we are ready to do it for the entire year, and we are also going to even hire
Okay.
people who are doing actually very good.
Yeah.
So last time, probably the next event that we are going to have with JetBrains, they said that they're going to hire. But even though, what happened is that in this hackathon also we hired 5 people. We
Okay.
got to see many people over there, and they are right now in the floor itself.
Yeah.
And in the next hackathon, which is going to come up on Saturday, which is again a 24 hours hackathon, we're going to hire 120 people. There's a company called as Mu Sigma that is going to hire 100 people, and we are going to hire 20 people on the
Yeah.
floor.
That is crazy. All of a sudden, it's not just a competition, but it might also be kind of an opportunity for your career, right? Which is really cool.
Yeah, because whenever you take one interview, right, within 2 hours, you'll not be able to understand the person completely.
Exactly.
Let's say 2 hour, 3 hours, right? But here, if a person is developing a product, he's playing with the entire team, he's working with the entire team, and at the end of the day, you get a product. That is what company requires, right?
Yeah.
And I feel that this should be the hiring process. They
Yeah.
should definitely make some changes in the hiring process, not just by one phone call and then one face-to-face meeting. Nothing like that. You come over here, build a product. Let's see in 24 hours what you do. Then you
Yeah.
ask how much salary you want.
Exactly. First show what you got. Man, 24 hours. So I'm wondering 600, 500 people, that's a lot of people, right? If we look at the teams and the teams that were really effective, did you see kind of how do you say that? Kind of a common field, how they approach things, for example? Did they figure out that they start drawing and be like, okay, this is what we envision before they started building? Or did they start building and creating different stuff and trying things out before actually figuring out which way to go? What worked there and what didn't?
So, see, whenever we see in a bigger company, right, whenever you have given a project or a product to develop, right,
Yeah,
they go with various stages, right? And there, a design team will be separately, a requirement gathering team will be separate, a development team will be separate.
yeah,
You'll be having product managers. But here, you are just 2 to 3 people.
exactly.
And I've seen people, drawing diagrams then and there itself, designing something, out of it. They're doing it pen and paper. That was the most fascinating thing.
Yeah,
They're just drawing it with pen and paper. They're coming up with some kind of conclusion. They're discussing within the team itself, and finally, they're able to create a product. So altogether, like if I really want to say that, yes, within that 24 hours, okay, when we gave the problem statements, right, we made sure that we added some more new tools. Okay, let's say
okay.
you have to use Dockers, you have to use Kubernetes, you have to make sure that you use this new technology. Some people were like, sir, we don't know that.
Hmm.
Then we told them, okay, do one thing, learn and do it, because you
Yeah,
have still have 24 hours, right? You just learn and do it. It was quite fascinating that like more than 50% of the people learned there and did it.
wow.
And finally at the end of the event, they were saying that, Krish, this was quite amazing.
Yeah.
If we were sitting in home and probably participating in this kind of hackathon in an online mode, we
Yeah.
could have left it in the halfway. But since we are sitting here for 24 hours, you know, we got that kind of confidence by seeing others, because others was also learning and others were also trying to do something.
Yeah.
Uh, and they did it. It's quite fascinating to see that. So that was an amazing experience altogether.
That is awesome. I didn't know you gave such guidelines like, all right, we have a problem and this is what the solution needs to be. I thought it was more free format, but it is
A
very
problem
much.
statement is there. A problem
Yeah.
statement is definitely there. And
Okay.
we say them that, okay, you have to use this good practices like GitHub,
Yeah.
Dockers, Kubernetes, because this is what the companies require nowadays,
Exactly.
any company who are hiring.
Yeah.
So we gave them this problem statement. They said that we don't know this. I said, okay, you have 24 hours. Learn it, do it. That is what developer do.
Yeah. That is exactly what I was going to say, right? That is the skill that you need to have because technologies are going to be evolving, right? It's Docker now, Kubernetes now. In the future, it might be some whole other thing. And then are you going to be like, oh, I don't know that. I'm going to go to my comfort zone? Or are you going to step out of that and be like, actually, I need to be able to learn this because this is the new technology, right? And we've done that in the past. We're going to keep doing that. It is really cool because that means you get to learn a lot of new things and stuff is continuously evolving, right? You need to challenge yourself. But it is completely different than I think traditional jobs, right? If I'm a carpenter, I'm going to get new tools, but it's not going to be next year. It's going to be in 10 years. And then I'm going to be like, oh, this is very similar. This is like a slight upgrade. I'm always going to have my carpentry skills. Software engineering, data science, data engineering, nothing like that.
One thing, what we found out from the entire audience, right? There were also people who are from 10th standard and 12th standard also.
Hmm.
And in one of the hackathon, a person from 12th standard, he was still in high school.
Yeah.
Just imagine. He has won third prize.
Oh,
So he
really?
did the entire coding by himself. The entire hackathon, he completed it.
Okay.
Okay, and just to support him, his dad was also there along with him.
Yeah.
But the entire work, I'd seen him throughout night, throughout that 24-hour events, he was writing each and every line of code together,
Yeah.
and he built one of the most amazing application, and the code quality was quite high. You know,
Okay.
it was like an experienced person
Yeah.
coding, something like that. So it was quite good to see that, and he won third prize over there,
That's
just single
crazy.
handedly.
Do you think people like that start really young and just become
Yeah,
like that?
like then we got to know that it was his third hackathon.
Oh, okay.
And he had already won the second hackathon also, and third hackathon also he won. So yes, he started quite early, I
Yeah, he's
guess.
been doing this for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and his dad is a scientist actually. Over
Ah,
here we have something called as a DRDO
yeah,
in India. So he was a chief scientist over there. I
yeah,
think it's all about the support.
exactly.
What
Some
parents
support
get.
and inspiration there. That makes a lot of sense. It's very different from how I got into kind of software engineering because for me, it was I didn't know what I wanted to do coming out of university, didn't know what I wanted to
Mm,
do going into the job market. And then through actually joining and starting a job as a junior somewhere, that's when I learned, okay, this is what I want to do. Right. And then I had
yes.
to kind of kick off that learning process. I think it's very cool for people that are a lot younger than I was back then, that they already know, okay, this is what I'm gonna try and do, or this is what I'm gonna experience, because there's not
Yes.
necessarily an age limit, right? You just need to be able to pick up new stuff, make stuff happen, and it's very visual. You can see if it works or it doesn't, and what it looks like, and you can learn from others,
Yes.
right? Every
Yep.
a lot of the information is out there for you to pick up and teach yourself.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is. Uh, It's all about the confidence and things that you actually want to do in the future, right?
yeah,
If your goals are set, you want to achieve that. I think age is just a number we say, right?
exactly. Yeah. I wanna learn a bit more about kind of the startup that you built. That's iNeuron AI, right?
Yeah, I know.
How did
Yeah.
it come to be, or when did you decide, or how'd that go?
So somewhere in 2015, 16, right?
Mm.
We had always an idea. Like I was a mentor at that point of time. I used to teach people, with respect to data science from then itself.
Yeah.
Uh, and one thing that I used to see that people were lacking things, what they are learning and what they are implementing in the industry
Okay.
at that point of time.
Yeah.
And the companies that were into this sector, who were teaching data science, data engineering, and all, let's say with respect to other tech also, they should just teach some basic things. That was really not at all similar to the things that we do in the company, like deploying, scaling it up, and doing multiple things.
Yeah.
At that point of time, I thought that, okay, now I've gained so much of experience. Why not start a startup at that point? But
Yeah.
still, uh, thought process we started at that point of time. And one thing that I used to see is that, okay, cost factor was quite high, let it be in India specifically,
Yeah.
right? People were charging hefty amount of money,
Okay.
for just teaching this tech. Because if I know this tech won't cost you this much,
Yeah.
we definitely want to teach you in such a way. One important thing about education is that education should be affordable
Hmm.
and the quality should be high. Okay,
Exactly.
so this was the brand motto that I had always in my mind before starting it up. Okay, and after gaining so much of years of experience, at that point of time, obviously I did not had any kind of funding. It was just personal saving.
Yeah.
So I just delayed that plan for another 2 years. So in 2018-19, we started our startup itself, and we made sure that quality is high,
Yeah.
affordability, it should be affordable. So hardly in $50, let's say, in $50 you get to attend a 6 months live session with
Okay.
respect to any tech you want.
Yeah.
Okay, like Java, data science, JavaScript, AWS cloud. So that kind of live sessions we have already started, and apart from that we have also created an OTT platform where you get 250 plus courses,
Yeah.
and you also get a chance to demand any courses that you actually want. Okay, and this is for yearly subscription, and that is hardly somewhere around $50-$60 itself, yearly subscription.
Yeah.
So we have reduced the cost completely. We have made sure that the quality is increasing and the quantity is also increasing.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. I mean, you want that, right? Education is kind of weird. In Holland, it's very affordable to go to university. I know in the US and the Americas, it is insanely expensive, and I don't necessarily understand it, the whole system behind it.
I've seen in US a DevOps course actually cost you somewhere around 10K dollars.
Yeah, that's
I,
ridiculous, right?
I can teach you in $50.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I can sit over here and upload that entire videos in YouTube if I want.
Yeah,
If I probably take up the subject tomorrow.
exactly right. Yeah, I don't get how those business models work because you're competing against either very affordable or completely free on YouTube. So I still don't get how that works and how that operates. But I,
The thing is that in our company, what we have done is that we also have an R&D sector. R&D sector basically means anybody who wants to incubate, do internships in our company,
yeah,
they are free to do it. Okay, and the projects that we actually develop over here, it is really really relatable to the things that are happening in the companies. Okay,
okay,
so a person who actually invests 3 months in iNeuron and completes his projects, if he goes out, he's job ready
yeah,
actually. Any companies will definitely hire him. And from the last year, we have done more than 2,500 plus transitions. People from different backgrounds, domains, they have made successful career transition in these things.
yeah, really cool. Yeah. I had a thought, but I lost it. You were saying that
Sorry.
there's a difference in what you can learn and what you can teach yourselves and what companies actually use. And I've heard that before, but I don't know how that goes wrong, right? In university, you get to kind of learn in a bubble. You get kind of theoretical problems and you kind of build your solutions towards those problems. There's a piece of kind of practicality that's missing there. Because when you join an organization, I mean, in hackathons, you start from scratch, right? Usually, when you join an organization, a lot of stuff is already out there. So you have a lot of kind of change when it comes to technologies and choices that have been made. And you either need to build on top of that, or if you go against it, you need to have very good reasons because that's going to impact a lot of stuff. But there's a gap there in what you actually learn either in your educational journey or even the content that is out there and what organizations actually put to practice. But I don't know why that gap is there. It doesn't make sense for it to be there, right? You want to be ready as soon as your educational journey ends on a more formal level. It's never actually going to end because you're going to learn on the job. But why do you think that gap is there?
Thing is that, like, see, I'm in India. The colleges that we also say, we basically say as a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 colleges, right?
Yeah,
So if I just talk about MIT in US, okay, so it is a tier 1 college. Similarly in India, IIT's colleges are like tier 1 colleges.
yeah,
tier 1, tier 2, if I say NITs, IITs, like this all colleges are there. Now, if I probably try to see tier 1 and tier 2 college with respect to tier 3 colleges,
Yeah.
this gap is more in tier 3 colleges.
Hmm.
Okay. The reason, if you, I had, sorry.
No worries.
So again, this changes that is going to come up, in the future. I think this thing they'll try to focus more on the practical aspects.
Yeah.
But one quality thing that I've seen in tier 1 and tier 2 colleges is that they are reducing this gap.
Hmm.
They are making sure that people, when they pass out of the college, are industry ready.
Yeah.
And again, over there, it depends on the facilities that actually the colleges are actually providing.
Yeah.
And now the colleges are becoming more competitive because everything is available now in YouTube. Right? Most of
Exactly.
the things are available in YouTube, and definitely startups like us, who already have that specific experience, we're trying to teach students then and there. So a student who is actually in his final year, he start working on different kind of things.
Yeah.
Let it be a research, let it be his own publications that he want to really do, or he want to publish his own paper, right? If I talk about the reason why these are things are happening, like if again, it can be a political reason altogether.
Yeah.
It can be a reason because that is the reason why so many edtech startups are already there.
Hmm.
You know, and now people are getting more knowledgeable with respect to this,
Yeah.
and colleges in the future, I think, will definitely reduce this gap and they'll try to bring more practical things. Um, and it may also depend on what college can provide to the students. It is not actually flexible that a college can provide everything to the students at once. There
Exactly.
may be a cost factor that will be involved. There may be people who may not be that much skilled, you know, because in colleges, you'll find teachers, you'll not find mentors. There's a difference between teachers and mentors.
Exactly.
A mentor is a person who actually shares his experience.
Yeah.
A teacher only teaches things, right? So a mentor can actually do a work of both teacher, whereas a personal guidance he can actually provide how you can actually implement all these things.
Yeah.
This is one of the thing. And in most of the colleges that I have actually found out, teachers also lack a lot of practical experience.
Hmm.
You know, they lack a lot of practical experience. They may have never worked in an IT industry, but they are teaching some computer science subjects.
Yeah. That is
So
odd.
that may be the situation.
Yeah.
Yes. I've seen that. I've seen that many teachers like that. Even in my college, also, I had teachers who just had bookish knowledge, but no way practical knowledge was there.
Yeah.
So this kind of situations because of this. But in the future, now, since colleges are getting competitive, college are also hiring mentors in such a way that at least they should have some number of years of experience in the IT industry before they
Exactly.
get into.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I hadn't realized that, but I do think I've seen that in that kind of the practical skills are lacking. Um, and I absolutely agree with you that teachers teach and mentors also coach and on the job, right? It's not a cookie cutter mold, so it's very personal. It's very much tailored to the person that's opposed to you if you have a kind of a mentor mentee relation. And it's a lot of
But
listening.
just to add one point over
Yeah,
here is that not all the teachers are like
I
that.
get that. Yeah,
You know, there are some teachers who are in this specific mode, but other teachers are also quite bright over here.
yeah,
They they have an experience. They do a lot of research. They publish their own paper. You know, and that is the reason why I say tier 1 and tier 2. Right?
yeah,
We find this kind of teachers mostly in tier 3 colleges and all. So in
yeah.
that particular scenario, that what is my observation. That I've actually told you right now.
That makes sense. Yeah. What I was thinking is, so what you learn in university, I learned about data science a lot, and I went to college in like 2017, 2016. So then it was kind of up and coming. We were talking about, oh, this is probably going to be a good career path going into the future, because then it wasn't necessarily trailblazing. It wasn't in the forefront. It had been established, and we could form education around it, which is why I actually got it at a university. But it was also very new. Not a lot of organizations had the data, were ready for it, had any idea what it would mean in their team structure, in their organization structure. So organizations are also lacking behind a lot of the theory that universities teach. I think that also absolutely will contribute to that gap there because you're going to be ready from university. You're going to have a lot of theoretical knowledge, But you can't apply that because organizations might not be ready for that in the next few years.
So it is going to basically take some time
Yeah,
to. We say that right thing is going to happen, but
yeah,
it is going to take.
exactly. Yeah, but man, organizational change takes a long, long time. That's for sure.
Specifically bigger organization, not startups.
Exactly.
Startups really need to be in the toe.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you started your startup, you said 2016, 2018,
No, no, it's in 2019 October.
October.
We started it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's for the last few years. What are kind of the biggest learnings you've had since then? Because you started out with a goal, right? Education, high quality, and very much affordable. What was kind of the first step you took towards that? Was it set up a website, set up your own practical guides in that way? How did it come to what you described earlier and where it is now?
So we started very slowly. It took time to develop our own portal,
Yeah.
but parallelly we started taking up classes. Okay,
Hmm.
and probably around 6 to 7 months it took us to make sure that our portal is actually fine with respect to all the functionalities that we really wanted to put.
Yeah.
Then what happened is that since our price was really less, right? One biggest challenge was that like we got a lot of traction from the audience. They
Yeah.
wanted to come and learn from us. So within 6 months, we were thinking that how to handle this big audience. You know, and that is a major thing in edtech. You cannot just if there are 1,000, 2,000 people, you have to make sure that each and every person clarifies his doubt in a better way.
Yeah.
You have a kind of one-to-one interaction with them. You know, so at that point of time, we faced a lot of difficulties in building our team.
Yeah.
Because we have to really build a team in such a way that they should be able to understand us. uh, they need to understand our vision. Okay, and this usually took time, around 3 to 4 months. We have to make sure that it took us a lot of amount of time. And what we were also doing is that those whoever were learning from us, right?
Yeah.
And once they completed the courses, we hired them directly because they knew the entire syllabus. They knew that how do we teach.
Yeah.
We hired them directly. So right now in the floor, anybody you see has been taught by us only,
That's
some or
really
the other.
smart. Yeah.
Yeah. And because we really need to build a team who has the same kind of thought process. And
Exactly.
because of that, we could efficiently build a team properly. And we came up together, and then we started also giving live Skype support.
Okay.
Live Skype support basically means any 24 hour, 24 bar 7. Anytime that you have any queries, you just go and ping in the Skype,
Yeah.
or you can ping through the chatbot that is available in our website. Your query will be solved then and there. So
Okay.
this really one thing I thought that none of the edtech are actually doing. They
Yeah.
usually say drop us a mail, we'll reply you back in 24 hours. But we do not want to give this experience. We want to give the experience then and then only we need to solve your issue,
Yeah.
right? And that was like super liked by all the people out there. And then we came up with more services like internships. We really wanted to provide internships to all. So that basically means this internship is open to all from
Mm.
any part of the world. You can apply internships in iNeuron. You have the entire problem statement, what project you need to be solving. Everything is available in the portal and dashboard.
Yeah.
You just need to go and start solving. And there also we give experience letter to the people who once submit the projects and all. So internship we started. Then we came up with something called as incubation center.
Mm.
So when we started teaching more and more people, so people came up with some amazing ideas,
Yeah.
and they really wanted to implement it as a startup. So we thought that why not? We'll help you out. You can use our office space. You can use. We also make sure that we give food everybody. Like for all the employees, we give free food
Yeah.
in our office, so they can come and just focus on the work. Okay.
Really cool.
So yeah. So this is the thing. Now in that incubation center, once you develop a POC, then we fund your product. You know,
Okay.
so that you can take it for the larger scale. So that functionality, that feature also we added in our things, right?
Yeah.
Uh, the next feature that we came up with, that when we are launching our OTT platform, many people said that Krish, some of the courses are not available in the OTT platform.
Okay.
Like if I take an example of Netflix, you cannot tell Netflix, I want an action movie. This should be the hero. That should be the actress. Probably you cannot say that.
Yeah.
But we have given them the option. You can tell us in our OTT platform what courses you want.
Mm.
and we have promised that within 60 days we will try to upload the course.
Yeah.
Okay, so this feature also we brought them, and from there, like we started with 100 courses, now there are more than 250 plus courses.
Yeah, that's
You know,
crazy.
so these all things, and slowly we are trying to find out problems. We are still trying to add more things to the people.
Yeah.
So mock interviews, interview sessions, resume building, everything on the go.
Yeah.
Right now the team who's in the flow, they are right now taking mock interviews, because this Saturday Sunday we have hiring that is going to happen in iNeuron.
Awesome.
Just imagine.
Yeah, really
So
cool.
that all things are going on.
It sounds very practical, right? You see an opportunity and you go for it, or you try things out and you see if it works. If yes, then you just scale it. If it doesn't, you move on to the next thing. Right? Hiring people that are early on and taking your courses, to me, that sounds like a really smart thing to do because those people
We still have a
understand.
lot of requirements. We still
Yeah,
have a lot of requirements. Right now also we are looking for people who can join our team.
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you wanna keep growing, but those ideas, right? Consistency is there, high quality is there. It's all about education, and smaller steps take you forward. I think it's really cool to hear that. Yeah, and it hasn't even been that long, 2019, something like that. Really cool stuff. I was wondering, when I looked you up, I saw something about like a GitHub star kind of thing. What is that, and
Yeah.
how'd you get that?
So this is basically
Oh, you
for
have
the
it.
open source contribution. Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
this is the GitHub star. You can see over here.
Yeah,
So what I did is that I used to, as I said, right, I used to upload a lot of YouTube videos, right?
yeah,
So through that way, I used to teach a lot of things, do a lot of open source contribution, share knowledge with the people.
yeah.
And one fine day, I don't know, someone nominated me for this GitHub Star Awards.
Very cool.
The next day, I get an email from GitHub saying that, okay, you have been nominated as a GitHub Star, and I think in India, hardly you have 3 to 4 people
Okay.
uh, entirely with this. So you get some amazing goodies. You get to represent GitHub nicely, because last hackathon we conducted a hackathon in collaboration with GitHub as a community partner.
Yeah, that's some cool stuff. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
appreciate it when companies do stuff like that for the community because it's giving back, right? It shouldn't be like, we're just taking from the community and we're making money and stuff like that. I think companies also need to give back, and I think this is a form of that, which I really appreciate.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it's exactly like organizing hackathons and bringing people together, bringing communities together, because together you learn, right? It's all about collaboration and improving together in a way as well.
So in the upcoming 2 months, we are packed with hackathons in collaboration with different companies.
Good stuff,
Things
man.
are going on
Good
in an
stuff.
amazing way.
When you said 24 hours, that sounds tough though. Like it's 24 hours hands-on. I mean, they probably take breaks and stuff, but 24-hour focus is a tough one.
So we give all the necessary things like Red Bull. It gives you wings.
Yeah, it makes you
Sorry.
fly.
Yeah, it makes you fly, right? So
Yeah.
see, this is the challenging thing, right? That is how product is actually built.
Mm.
Trust me, like a company can actually notice about a candidate a lot of things from this hackathon.
Yeah.
You know, if you are able to develop a POC product in 24 hours, just imagine what the company requires there. Because
Yeah.
so many ideas will be going on. Let's say startup. Today I want to implement so many things. I have 10 different ideas on my mind. I want to implement that specific thing.
Yeah.
Whom I will be dependent on? This kind of people who are able to build a product in 24 hours. Like
Exactly.
that, right?
Yeah. The thing is, so I think in some way those 24-hour hackathons are easier, right? Because you have a very clear scope, you have some guidelines with regards to technologies, and your focus is building the solution. What is harder in an organization is figuring out what solution you need to build, communicating with the stakeholders, make sure that all their needs are met. People have hidden agendas, do some nasty things, deadlines get moved up, you get blamed for something you didn't do. All of that is in an organization, or can be. And that makes the end product actually a lot harder to build, which is
True.
right. If you remove all of that in a hackathon setting, it's actually a lot easier than in an organizational setting. Yeah,
There you'll be able to find out the real efficiency of the entire team.
exactly. And you'll
How
always need
able
you'll
they are.
always need both skills, right? The hard skills of actually getting it done, being able to do it, being able to teach yourself those technologies, as well as the
Mm.
soft skills, right? Communicating which way is the right way, challenging requirements and stakeholders, making sure they actually meet the deadlines with the scope and the time that you have. Um,
Yeah.
more and more I see you need both sides. We really focus on the hard skills though, also when hiring.
I think your voice is not audible.
Did we lose audio?
Yeah, your audio was lost. Okay, fine. Now
Yeah,
it is fine.
I think we're good again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. I lost my train of thought. So in the pre-show, I think the audio messed up there. I wanted to ask you again, how'd you get into data science? Just so we have that in there as well.
Okay, so as I said that I developed one POC. We got a reward from a company saying that this is the best AI application.
Yeah,
That really made me impressed because I never had heard about AI at that point of time.
yeah,
There were some of my friends who were doing masters in US and Germany. They told me that okay, AI is something. This is the story of the entire AI. Then I thought I was quite fascinated. Okay, I want to learn this.
yeah,
Then they said that okay, we are doing a 2 years program over here for the same thing. I told him, okay, just do one thing, just pass out all your materials. I will create my roadmap for my side and probably I'll learn everything.
yeah.
And within 3 months, I was in a state of mind that where I could implement so many things. I got a job in AI field.
Okay.
At that point of time, it was in somewhere around 2014.
Yeah,
And again, thanks to my friends because they helped me out with all the things, how to prepare and all. Let it be with respect to practical implementation, the maths behind all the algorithms, how you can actually create an end-to-end application, how you can actually deploy it.
yeah.
All those they actually helped me out with respect to that.
Really cool.
And then it was like wow, if I can do it in 3 months, I still say myself as an average student or average person to learn something new technology. Okay, now just imagine if I probably provide this entire thing to the entire country or entire world. Just imagine how amazing things they can actually do because there are so many people who are smarter than me,
Yeah,
right? So that is how I started into data science, and then later on converted into a YouTube channel in 2018.
yeah. It's a funny thought because I'm always like, man, this is complex, and then I'm like, okay, I figured it out. But there's a lot of people smarter than me. They probably figured it out so well. But it's starting, right? It's starting small. Actually doing some hands-on stuff, and it might not be as difficult as you think it is to get something small up and running. Yeah, that was.
So one more thing, like
Go
this
ahead.
technology, right? It is always good that you start early
Yeah.
because when it is in the early stage, if you join this, right, in the future, you may get the maximum advantage because till then you're something different. You're a completely different person with a lot of
Yep.
experience, right? Similarly, other technologies like blockchain is also there, which I'm also exploring parallelly.
Yeah.
Which is quite. It has a lot of applications. I'm not talking about cryptocurrencies and all, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about blockchain applications. What all things you can actually do. And recently, ex-Twitter CEO, right, Jack Dorsey, he
Yeah.
also announced about Web 5. Okay, so again, that is going to be get built on blockchain. Amazing technology that are going to come up. I think people should also focus on that. What new things are actually coming, and try to put their hand over there so that they get the best advantage out of it.
Exactly. Because I was going to mention that when you hopped in, that was 2014. That was kind of trailblazing period, right? Data science was very hot at that time, I think, and people were figuring out, okay, what is this going to look like? It's now 2022. It's a lot more mature. Do you think you can still make that switch if you're a software engineer and either go into data science or data engineering with your kind of software engineering knowledge, or is
Yes,
it too
yes,
much
yes.
now?
No, no, no. I can definitely make it. I've seen people from non-technical background, right,
Yeah.
who do not have much programming experience. Also,
Hmm.
a mechanical engineer, civil engineer is making a switch towards data
Yeah.
science. Then why not we? Data
Yeah.
science can go back to software engineering, or software engineering can come into data science at any point of time.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Sometimes I wonder though, is it too much at everything that is out there? Because if I just look at what I'm trying to do, right, I need to learn the programming languages, even not regarding the data science aspect. I need to figure out how to collaborate with my team members, right, through probably some version history management tool. I need to figure out my IDE and how I can be efficient on my own thing. Then I have the infrastructure on which I deploy, right? Either that's Docker or Kubernetes, where that runs, data center, cloud, and all the technologies that come with that. If I want to bring it into the hands of the people, is it going to be web? Is it going to be an app? What is the infrastructure and networking there? It is a lot to digest, right? I love being in a team that is multifaceted because then I don't need to know everything in that way. But it seems like a humongous task if you want to figure out everything on your own in that way also.
A person who do not have some basic knowledge on this,
Yeah.
the transition phase will obviously be somewhere around 6 to 7 months. It won't be just within 1 month or 2 months. Since I was a software engineer,
Yeah.
I knew about web application, I knew about mobile apps. I was working in .NET programming and JavaScript at that point of time.
Yeah.
So I knew that basic things, right? So for me, just to learn data science and try to convert that same project into a data science project,
Yeah.
it hardly took me 3 months, But for a person who's coming from some other background, yes, some amount of time will be required, but you really need to devote some n amount of hours every day.
Exactly.
Because that is I'm saying n
Yeah.
because you can devote 1 hour, 2 hour, you can devote 5 hours. It
Yeah.
depends on your interest. The more number of hours every day, so consistency should be there every day.
Yeah.
Then only you'll be able to make this transition quickly. Otherwise, it is just going to go with the flow.
Yeah. I really like that you said every day, right? And sure, don't be too harsh on yourself. Sometimes it's not going to work, but if you have that mindset that every day I'm gonna move that rock a little bit, then all of a sudden you're gonna have a distance that you wouldn't even imagine you would have pushed it. I think consistency is so important, and then you will see progress, right? In a week from now, you're gonna be like, last week I didn't actually know all these things, or look at what I've created. I didn't know I could do this, and it's very tangible, the results you'll get, or the knowledge you'll gain, because you can put it to practice. Or you can take it with you, because a lot of knowledge also anchors, and you'll see it in the future. You'll be like, oh, I've read about this, let me touch up on this and polish the skill that you already have. Yeah.
True. And if you're able to learn multiple technologies, just imagine that today you're interested in data science, tomorrow you're interested in data engineering. See, once you learn something, right, then you'll get a feeling that okay, moving to other technology is also a piece of cake, you
Yeah.
know, because all the base are same. The most of the activities that we do in the company is almost same.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I mean, the biggest skill there is just the will to be able to teach yourself, or figuring out what the best way is for you. Right? There's a lot of documentation out there. I'm more visual oriented. So I go to YouTube, I look at what people draw kind of live or in a video that is kind of tailor made in that way to digest the information faster. I know a lot of people that love reading, they'll order a book and be like, go through all the details and they'll learn that way. But everyone has kind of their own way on how they consume content and how they learn. The problem is figuring out what works for you and then where the best content is to get that, because there's just too much content nowadays also. Yeah.
Yeah, true. There's so many YouTubers who are openly putting content, blogs are there, so many things are there. That's
Yeah.
quite amazing.
I get that. What I was wondering is, because we touched upon the kind of difference between data science and data engineering, but the audio might have messed up there. Could you go through that again with regards to the difference between data science and data engineering?
So, if I talk about data engineering, their main task is how they can aggregate the entire data. Let's say
Yeah.
the data can be generated from some kind of IoT products. It can be generated from some kind of devices. Let's say, so anything. Or suppose if you are interacting with a mobile app, in a mobile app, the clicks, the kind of interaction, the information that you're filling,
Yeah.
all that can be captured in the form of data. Now, this data, since millions and millions of users are using this, so if I talk an example with respect to LinkedIn, Twitter, right, so much data is getting generated over there.
Yeah.
Now, as a data engineer, my task should be that I should effectively try to find out a way to collect that data and store it in a way so that I can give this data access to anyone who basically require this to make some kind of decisions, right? So as a data engineer, my focus will be that I should really create a data warehouse or probably try to use tools through which I can efficiently capture this data, do some kind of cleaning, store it efficiently, and make sure that I can provide it to the other users.
Yeah.
Now if I talk about data science, we come to the next step now. Data science and data engineers are brothers, just consider that, because tomorrow if they really want to develop something, they
Yeah.
will be saying, please give me the data. Okay, so as a data scientist, you really need to take that particular data, clean it, after that create a model for some kind of business use case, and this model will be able to help you to do predictions, forecastings. In short, it will be able to make the stakeholders to make better decision in
Yeah.
turn, which in turn actually increases the revenue of a company.
Really cool. Yeah, they go hand in hand. I've always had those concepts in the back of my head, but that makes it really tangible, and where one's responsibility kind of ends and where the other one picks it up and makes use of it in a different way. Then, do you think it will kind of assimilate in the future? Because right now they're very different, those roles. I've heard in the beginning, this was like 2019, data science was very much up and coming. Right now, 2020, maybe even the last year, I've heard data engineering has become a bit more prevalent. I do see those kind of shifting, but do you think they'll ever assimilate that one uh, will do all of that basically, what you just described?
Yeah. So there is a role which is called as full stack data scientist.
Okay.
Okay. A full stack data scientist is a person who knows big data also,
Mm.
who knows data engineering work also, who knows data science work also.
Okay.
So if you combine this both the skills, probably you become a full stack data scientist.
I'd never
So
heard that before. Yeah.
yeah, as a as an industrial experience, I'm just taking out this and saying it in front of you because
Yeah.
in my previous company, like Panasonic, I was working in Panasonic in my previous company. We had some amazing full stack data scientists over there,
Yeah.
you know, who used to work in both big data and data science also. So I was anyhow the part of the data science team, but just by seeing the skills, that really motivated me to learn data engineering. So,
Yeah, I get that. The challenge with having it separate is that you do need to understand what the other person is doing, right? To a certain degree, not in depth, but you do need to be able to communicate what the requirements are, what the challenges are, what the impediments are. So the communication there is very crucial. And if you're that one person or if everyone understands the chain that's happening, then that communication is either internal or just needs to be shared within the team to get that shared understanding. Yeah.
and this is very high paying job, full stack data scientist. When you
Yeah, I
have
can
this both the
imagine.
skills, right?
Yeah,
You
I
are
can
very
imagine.
unique and rare right now.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So what I've always wondered is, let's say I start a startup or I start an organization, right? I want to get a proof of concept as soon as possible, as fast as possible to the hands of the user, live, so we can learn from that. When will I start collecting data? Is that from the start? Because you need a lot of data before you can make data-driven decisions, right? When is it a good time to start aggregating data? Because I see a lot of organizations, oh, we want to do something with data science, we want a recommendation system, yet they don't have any history, they don't have any data, which means if they want that, it's going to be months on end before they can start.
Sure. So, in the initial stage, whenever you are developing a POC, because at that point of time, you definitely don't have any kind of data. So,
Yeah,
definitely data driven use cases, it's not possible at that point of time.
yeah,
So, for the products that I have specifically developed, once it is live, once user are actually using it, we wait for at least 3 months, 2 to 3 months. It depends on
mm,
the quantity of data that is getting produced, right?
yeah,
Let's say in one month of data, like you have at least, let's say, 1 million records, and probably you've cleaned the data, you've got 1 million records, right? uh, it also depends on what is the quality of that specific data. See, there are multiple ways how you can decide whether this much data will be sufficient or not.
yeah,
It depends on the variety of data that you have. It depends on the quality of data you have, and again, this decision alone a data scientist cannot make.
no,
Okay, there'll be other people, like as I said, domain expertise, right, who will be involved over there. Yes, we can say that, okay, with this much data, can we create a model, or can we make sure that a data driven use case can be created?
yeah,
That we can definitely say. But we also need to have other people in this communication, like, one is the product manager, domain expertise person, and all. And if you're planning to create it, we basically keep that data driven use case in the testing phase for some months.
mm,
you know
okay,
let's say for 2 to 3 months, where we just provide this feature only to some selected people whom we know is going to make that kind of decision,
yeah,
just to test for the testing purpose. Let's
exactly,
say we have some cluster of information of people, whom we are definitely sure that whenever we launch a product, they are going to buy first. Let's say iPhone products.
yeah,
I've seen so many people, they're hardcore fan of iPhone or MacBook, let's say. Okay, as soon as a new model comes, they'll go and buy. So this kind of information we can definitely take out from the data itself, and we can test this model on those specific users.
yeah,
And slowly, when this is in testing phase, we try to open up this feature to slowly to everyone. And this is how it happens in industries. I think, whether you've seen this or not, I've seen this in many companies, like LinkedIn also.
yeah,
They wanted to provide some features with respect to job. Initially, they directly did not open for everyone. They opened for a small audience, and even If I talk about GitHub, right, they come up with some amazing tools like GitHub Codespace, uh, GitHub Copilot.
Yeah.
They don't give this access to everyone initially, only for those people who are interested into it. So slowly, when we try to give this, and then we try to see the performance metrics, how this particular feature is performing, how much accuracy it is giving, slowly we try to open it up through the entire.
Yeah. They open it up kind of in a maintainable way, or in a way they can contain it, right? Because if they open it out to everyone and it's not doing what you expect, oh, then the impact is quite hefty. Yeah.
As I said, that quality data is required initially. If that
Yeah,
quality data is there, then only you'll be able to make your product scalable.
exactly. Because if you have garbage in, then your output is also going to be garbage, right? What defines high quality data?
Uh, True data,
Hmm.
like suppose if you are told a person to fill a survey form, okay,
Yeah.
there are some people who'll just fill it for time passing.
Oh, that's me.
They'll add some information. They'll just write it.
Yeah.
But a true quality data basically means how seriously is filling up this form, how
Okay.
seriously is writing down that survey. Because that actually shows a true information of a specific person or what ideology he actually has, right?
Yeah.
So that is the reason why I said that, okay, when you're launching a product, only give it to some customers whom you believe, right? These are the customers who are really using your products.
Yeah. That makes
And
sense.
that can be actually found out from the data itself. Not a problem with that.
Yeah. So their intent
So,
needs to be sincere. They shouldn't misuse whatever you provide and give you that garbage data in a way there. Do you think organizations can ever save or retrieve too much data or even store, I guess? Because what I've seen is it's kind of black and white, right? Either organizations are at zero level of data retrieval, or they're like, oh, we're going to retrieve everything. We're going to save everything, all the data that we have, all the data that we can get, we will save because we might use it in the future. Do you think it
so
can be too much also?
yeah, it can be too much. Google already has so much of data. Even it has
Right?
your banking information, banking transactions, everything. But how wisely you utilize this in an ethical way, that is
Yeah.
super important. And for any new startup, I think you can get data. I've seen from somewhere they buy that specific data. Which suppose if you're selling something,
Yeah.
right? Leads data is something different. But if I talk about most of the data that is being captured by bigger companies through their application, where they have millions and millions of users, you know. So yes, again, one point that I really want to put in an ethical way, how wisely you use the data, that is super important. Okay,
Yeah.
it does not matter whether you have a huge data or small data, but definitely it matters for their specific product.
Yeah. Yeah, I love hearing that. Krish, I really enjoyed this conversation. We went over kind of hackathons to your journey with iNeuron AI, and then we ended with a little bit of the data side of the tech space. Is there anything missing that you still wanted to share?
No, I think we have covered almost everything.
Awesome. Awesome.
It was amazing
Whenever you're in
talking to you.
Holland, whenever you're in Europe,
Yeah,
hit me up and
sure,
we'll do this again. Um,
sure, definitely not a problem.
Krish Naik, everyone. I'm going to put the links to his socials in the description below. And thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next one.